instead of investing in certificates, get the practical knowledge. As Josh Medekar used to say, practically for a junior, I would say this cyber range is completely enough for you to get into cybersecurity role. And you can, as Josh used to mention, that CompTIA Security Plus, and also prepare for that in order to get to the through the interview.
Hey everybody, Josh here. I'm the owner of the Cyber Range, and this is Sija. She's my friend, of course, and then the operations manager for the Cyber Range. And usually when people get jobs, usually they're in the States, and I like to interview them myself. But because I'm in Asia most of the time, and she lives in the US, Sija offered to do the interviews for me, and she's actually better at interviewing than me anyway. So yeah, enjoy the interview.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Sija. I help run the Cyber Range and support our members. Today we have Sunni here, who is a member in Cyber Range, and he recently landed a job as a cybersecurity engineer. He's agreed to come on and share his journeys and give us insight and be for the community. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much for all your support and encouragement.
Thank you. Hi, Sunni. So, will you mind give us a brief introduction about your career background or
Yeah, sure, of course. So way back in 2017, I started my career in IT. Actually, in my bachelor's, I was doing my mechanical engineering degrees.
Okay.
Then I really wanted to get into IT industry. So I joined in Tata Consultancy Services as system engineer, where I was my role was in mainframe development. So I was actually a mainframe developer for Morgan Stanley. I work for Morgan Stanley in all their three regions, that is the US, the EMEA, as well as the Asia. So I've been covering all these three regions for their hedge funds. And I there was doing both development as well as application support kind of things, production support. And then I took a short break when it was COVID.
Mhm.
And after that, I joined another company which is called Infotel India. It's actually
Okay.
companies in Infotel UK.
Okay.
So there I worked with Nissan Motors, Great Britain, for a couple of years, again in the same mainframe technology. Then I decided to do my master's in cybersecurity in the UK. So I pursued my master's there at Oxford Brookes University, and then I completed that. And during that time, when I was preparing for interview, sorry about my dog.
Oh, that's fine.
When I was in my university, and then when I started applying for jobs, so it was like the technical stuff they were expecting from me was really high level, the in-depth
Yeah.
level. Yes. So I was just having the theoretical knowledge and basic practical knowledge, which I was doing in the labs, right? So with those stuff, I couldn't crack the interview. So I almost attended many interviews, and I 5, 6, more than that. But the thing is, the UK job market, right? So
Yes.
I didn't have the exact stuff they were asking for, and yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I realized, okay, so I need to go for some practical stuff. I was actually thinking that I need to build up an entire, lab setup and produce all the logs by myself and go for threat hunting and incident response, everything. I didn't even know about proper vulnerability management at that time. And I came across Josh Whitaker's Cyber Range post and just YouTube videos in the YouTube. So I was really okay. I was thinking okay, should I really explore this for now? Because it's my important time, And
Yeah.
so I just wanted to give a try. So
Okay.
when it came in, it was wow, it's more than my university. It was like that, it was more than my university, I would say. There I learned all the basics and the in-depth stuff, how things work, and all the practical knowledge and all whatever the organizations now what they need. I learned from Josh Madakar's Cyber Range. It was really
Yes.
awesome experience. Right from right from all his basic theory videos and the practical explanations, each and every videos. I used to go through that many times. As well as the Anki deck that he
Yes.
provides helped
Uh-huh.
me a lot to help me a lot for all my job interviews after that. And
Okay.
finally, as I posted, I got a job as cybersecurity engineer in a
Yeah.
company. So I'm very glad. It was they were asking many important in-depth questions, I would say, but I was able to answer them clearly. Even some architectural questions they were asking me, and I was able to do it. I learned I learned a lot, I would say.
Wow, that's really amazing. Like I was curious, like you say you have a computer science, like right? And what makes you decided to like switch pivot to like cybersecurity, like from the engineer degree, right?
Okay, so you're talking about my bachelor's degree, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So deep in my heart, okay, actually I was passionate about mechanical engineering. And when I was doing my third year of mechanical engineering, deep in my heart, I was having some like attraction towards IT and something deep inside. I couldn't explain that, but
Okay.
I know I should be there. And I was like, okay, let me give it a try. So and somehow managed to get a job in the IT directly as
That's
system
cool.
engineer. It was a game changer.
That's really cool. So you say like you've been having all the degree and all the foundation knowledge from your your schooling, but it's what you learned in the cyber range that actually the practical the hands-on experience that you can articulate or explain to the recruiter that they I believe you in the post you say you're going for like cybersecurity analysis position, and
Correct.
because you're doing so good in the interview, and then they bump you to the engineer position, right?
Correct. Correct, you are right. Actually, the thing is like they were having some like multiple questions for cybersecurity analyst course.
Okay.
But the thing is like for cyber security engineer, there was only one opening for in that company. So whatever.
Oh,
So I just was doing my cybersecurity analyst interview, and at some point they felt like okay, I can fill that question. So they asked me to go for the next round, and as I mentioned in the post, completed almost like 2 to 3 rounds,
yeah.
and with the final HR round as well as so completed everything, and then they decided okay, we'll give you the cyber security engineer
Okay.
role.
So will you mind give us more detail? Like you say you have like 2 rounds of like technical interviews.
Mhm.
Like what kind of technical like scenario that it was in the interview? That
Sure.
was
So yeah. So when I say technical interview, the first thing was like just give me a moment. Yeah. So the first round was like it was a kind of how we SOC team work
okay.
and incident response as well as vulnerability management. It's like overall basic questions. Even it did even come to the point which meets the questions that Josh Whittaker gave to architects. It was
Oh
very
really? So
it was
are you
very
talking about the Anki deck for the interview? The Anki deck. Oh
yes.
wow. That's really okay.
You know,
That's a good feedback. I should let
yeah.
all the members to know.
Yes, you're right. And okay, I was like, okay, these things what they were asking were very small things to our cyber range participants, cyber members. They were actually very small things. They can easily go and do it. It was kind of that much. That's what they were expecting for cybersecurity analysts, I would say. Not see. Actually, when I started giving interviews, like 5, 6, or 10 kind of interviews, so they were asking in some interviews they were asking very in-depth questions, not
Yes.
not in all interviews. And this cyber range that I would say like architect questions, right? I used to go through that multiple times. I used to, and clearly Joseph has given us like this is not the exact answer that you should memorize, but you should come up with answers, your own answers
Yeah.
for the interview. So I used to do that many times. I used to get list all those questions, write the answers there, and then update it many times. And I'll go through that and do the cyber range, and then again revisit the questions. That's how I prepare.
Okay,
So
so you're saying you're not just memorizing, it's more like you go for the lab, and
yes,
then based on the lab, and then you kind of integrate with the question and answer, and you speak the way you understanding.
yes, you're
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like one advice I would say is like for the people who are preparing for interview, it was not like directly going and memorizing or like trying to understand the architect questions, but it is really, as Josh usually says, we need to do the cyber range multiple times, and once you do the one time, like after completing one round, you need to go and visit the architect questions. Then you will have a better understanding. Then do redo that. So multiple rounds. Then it will multiple rounds of cyber range will get you through multiple rounds of interview. That's what I would say.
Oh, I would love that slogan. Thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I would say. The more you do, the more you get in.
Yeah, I totally believe you. Like the more I do the lab, and also like I'm also in the cyber range. So the more I do the lab, the more I have this like intuitive, like okay, like even sometimes for Azure, right, for this like online platform, they will change the icon. Oh, they will change how they like in the platform. But if you just keep memorizing it, then you won't understand in the whole concept that you just like, oh, it is not in my memory, because now you're like you have to learn because it just trick a little bit, but you have to be able to solve it.
Yeah, you're right. No, see, since we do it multiple times, we are now able to like understand what I'm really feeling and how I did that.
Yeah,
Right?
that you feel confidence like in the
Correct, you're right.
interview.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
So but the one thing is like when I did my cyber range, like when I did the practice test, I was not like, okay, let me complete all these tasks and get the certificate and go. It was not like that.
Okay.
I will go with that mindset. Rather, I was literally trying to learn because I already uh, have my MSc in cybersecurity degree certificate. So certificate, as Joe should always mention, right? So stacking up certificate doesn't give you worth. It doesn't make you a worthy person. But getting into hands-on and doing that multiple times, going into that fully, and equipping yourself with the knowledge and skill, everything. So that will make you a worthy person, a valuable person. So I was like, okay, I already have my degree. So instead of trying to chase like internship certificates, this and that, I actually wanted to really use the cyber edge in a good way, practical way. Like, okay, let me do this. Let me learn. What is this? What is that? So that's how
Yeah.
I was on cyber edge. Yeah.
So will you say what you're doing at your day to day right now for this new position will really similar or resonate what you learned in cyber range?
You know, in the world of effective management, okay, world effective management, the main thing that I'm focusing here in this role. So what I would really say is, even even they did not know few things that cyber range taught me, that Joe's taught me in the cyber range. So few things which I explored in the cyber range, uh, those things even the engineers who are working with me did not know that. So
Oh,
it
that's crazy.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. The few things I would say is like Joe's did not spoon feed us everything. Like it was almost a spoon feed. But the thing is like he helped us to understand how he learned.
Yes.
So he spoon fed the way of and the method of learning, not just the knowledge. It's
Okay.
not like, okay, go and do this and that. Okay, that's it. That's what about vulnerability management. It's not like that. This is the basic, and you need to go and explore as how I did. I still remember Joshua used to say multiple times, like he set up the SACM like almost 15 times and more than that, like many times, so that he became an expert in that.
Yes, he keeps saying like keep practicing like again and again and again, and like
Correct.
even though you don't like need to follow the steps, you just like know how to do it.
Correct. Yeah. What I would really say is like we need to exactly, when some people who after my post, some people ping me directly and I was asking like how did I do this? So I was actually repeating the same stuff. What I was saying, just exactly follow the steps whatever Josh Whitaker explained you and told you already in the cyber race labs. Just do it.
Yeah,
Just follow it. That's all. That's all enough. I would say.
that's
You know.
so good. So do you remember how many application like do you apply? Like since that was
Almost like at least 400 applications, I would say.
400?
Yes,
Wow, that's like a lot of persistence.
correct.
Let's see.
Along with that, okay, one thing I need to highlight here, it's
Mm-hmm.
not just about technical things. In one model we have how to job hunt.
Oh yes.
That CV changed my perspective. The CV format that Jones Medicare gave us changed my perspective. So this is how it should be. And the keywords, how to pass through the like ATS, right? All these things are really important. It's not just about getting the technology stuff, but also about how to learning how to do the job hunt. That's learning the art of job hunt. It's really important.
Yeah.
Without
Do you
which,
mind?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
please.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Actually, without learning the art of job hunt, obviously you won't be getting to the point of calling for interview. So we won't get the call for interview. It's really,
Uh-huh.
you can be technically very good in cybersecurity, but without getting even one call from companies, it's really not helpful, right?
Yes, you're right. So, could you share like what kind of like job and like a search engine you use, or do you directly apply through like the company website for this job?
Yeah, sure. So I before entering this cyber range and where I learned the art of job, what I would say that was a kickstart in my learning the art of job. That's what I would say. And then I followed many people and tried to improve my job and skills. And so I usually like directly apply on the company website
Okay.
and reach out to people exactly similar to how Josh Medical says. It's like I used to ping people, I should reach, used to message them through LinkedIn, and I used to email them, get their emails, and send emails to them. And yeah, I really try to get reference
Okay.
or internal recommendations, right? So
Yes.
that's how we can easily place our CV on the table of an HR, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
So, but
else
for
everything is filtered out.
okay, so I'm just curious for this specific jobs, like how do you even know the company is opening, right? Was it because they post in LinkedIn or Indeed, so that you know, or you have
No,
like
actually,
friends?
actually, this was the right person I would say. So the cybersecurity engineer who was in that position already was about to leave, but the thing was like the company did not post anything anywhere else. Like it
Okay.
was actually internal thing, and they were waiting, not exactly waiting. I would say at the right point of time, I reached out to HR. I know there is a company, so I reached out to HR.
Oh,
I texted them, I would say. I asked them if there is any opening. I reached out to them and they were like,
I see.
okay, there is there are some questions. You can come for the interview. Like and after sharing my CV, everything happened. So they were like, okay, they was really interested in after reading my CV and okay, you can come for the interview. So this is how it would be. We'll set up a meeting for the first round of interview and following things. This is how it would be. And so okay, so and then I just gave it a try. So that's how it
Yeah.
started.
Wow, that's really amazing. That just I feel like just don't get discouraged and also keep proactively reaching out to people, like showing that like like linking I'm open to work, I'm willing to learn, I'm a really good value, right, to your company. So
Correct, you're
yeah.
right.
Oh, that's so cool.
You're right.
So, and will you mind if only if you feel comfortable, will you mind sharing your salary range for this new position since a lot of people trying to pivot into IT or cybersecurity. So, like, the salary is a bit fat, right? So, if you're comfortable, will you mind sharing just the range for like your position?
Approximately, just give me a moment.
Oh, yeah. Yes. It would be just like, a range that, people are working like towards to what
Uh,
they realistic, if they want to land a job.
yeah, sure. Just give me a moment. Let me get you some. Just give me a moment, please.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So it's around like 24,000 pounds approximately.
Okay.
Approximately, it's not too high, or it sounds like a basic thing, but cracking into that was really.
Yes. I mean, like from here, you just like, you have this engineer security title and like you're learning in the company with like a bigger environment. So it can only get better, right? From here. Like you
Correct.
already like put yourself inside the door. I would just like, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. So that's another question. I was like browsing around your LinkedIn and I realized that that's like this certificate called Blue Team Level 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know it's really popular. A lot of people join and try to get that certificate. And since you also get that certificate and also you be in the cyber range, will you say that's similar? Do you learn different things from different platforms? Do you suggest people to, participate both if they have enough money?
Yeah, sure. So about this, actually, in one weekly meeting, I had a quick chat with Josh,
Okay.
one of the weekly meetings. So what he mentioned is like, I just want to reiterate what he said.
Okay.
Yes, this is very popular, and that's what people are looking for. But this blue team level 1 is far better than that. It will
It's
help you
far more
really.
popular.
Yes, correct. It's not that much popular, but it's very helpful for you to get the skills, all the required skills.
Okay.
Even though it is less popular and less like it's not that much familiar as compared to CompTIA Security Plus, but
Yes.
this will really help you get important skills.
Okay. So you're saying so you recommend if like people have enough budget, they should
Yes.
do cyber range and also do the blue team level 1.
What I would say is like,
But yeah, go ahead.
once I okay, so I did this BTL level 1, like blue team level 1 before cyber range.
Yes.
If I had already known that we have cyber range like this, obviously I would not have invested in that.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. I was like curious about the cost, and it was like quite expensive. Like, for what? Maybe just a whole certificate section for everything. So
Yes, correct. That's what I would say. Like, instead of investing in certificates, get the practical knowledge. As Josh Medekar used to say, practically for a junior, I would say this cyber range is completely enough for you to get into cybersecurity role. And like you can, as Josh used to say, you can mention that CompTIA Security Plus and also prepare for that in order to get to the through the interview
okay.
stage.
Yes.
Like
That
place
I mean,
your-
everyone is pretty smart. So I'm in process to get my like CompTIA Security
correct.
Plus, right? It's like
Yes, correct.
the recruiter wants to, okay, this person not satisfied with this level. This candidate, he wants to or she wants to learn more. So this is in their radar that they wanted to get, right? So that
Yeah,
was like, okay, in the resume section. I get it.
yeah.
So do you use our resume template to, modify your resume to?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I used the template that Josh Medekar gave, and also after some time, and then he used to obviously say like refine it, and what you face, what you feel like, and then after when some feedbacks, I again updated that according to my needs, and it was really nice.
Oh yeah, thank you for sharing that. So here comes to my last question. So for whoever, in the community, and do you have any like tips or insight to give them to like how can they land a job or break into the cybersecurity field?
Wow. Yeah, sure. My one simple advice, encouragement, I would say, is don't be disheartened, but just follow whatever Josh Medekar says. That's it. Just follow that.
Okay.
Just follow that.
Okay. So it's
And
like more round of cyber range, though more rounds of interviews.
not only that.
Okay.
That is one point that Josh Medekar used to repeat. But what I'm saying is, whatever he says and whatever the content we have in the cyber range, please follow each and everything.
Okay.
Take your personal notes. Please do it. That's it.
So when you go over the courses, do you jump around to find which one you like to do it, or you just go from the one like 0 to all the way to the end?
Initially I was like a perfectionist train,
Uh-huh.
started from level 1 and wanted to complete it. And then I was like, okay. When I came for the next round, it was like, okay, just let me pick my favorite food.
Okay.
It was like that. And then I reset everything and then I used to go with that. Yeah, that's how I used to do.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the, come over and sharing into all your experience and how overall your experience in cyber range. Like it was really
Yeah.
nice to like see you and meeting you and chatting with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I wish, best luck with your new career and, hope you can give us more update, in the future.
Yeah, sure. I'll do. Thank you so much.
Thank
What else is I really benefited from the cyber range, and I really encourage everyone to exactly follow and understand what Josh really intends to say in each and every line, I would say. So he's trying to say something. Just try to get that point, and it's easy for you.
Okay, so let me just summarize it. So you just say, as long as you follow the courses and the exactly what he told in the courses and keep practicing but use your own, understanding, your own word to like, practicing that and then doing the interview questions, and that will be a really solid, like it's like a
Yes.
gear for you to go to
Yes.
the interview or go to the job market.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks so much again. Really appreciate taking the time to meet me today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So no pressure, obviously, but if you're serious about getting into cybersecurity or you just want real non-sandbox hands-on experience with actual enterprise tools in a live shared network, you can get all of that in the Cyber Range. In the past year, we've done about 100 employment verifications. That is like real employers reaching out to us to confirm experience for people in the community that have actually landed jobs. When you onboard into the community, you'll get issued credentials for access to our company's actual network, which is a real live corporate environment with over 1,200 users and fully licensed enterprise security stack with platforms like Tenable Vulnerability Management, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, and Microsoft Sentinel. And just like at a real security job, we'll provide training covering everything that you'll encounter, from enterprise vulnerability management to threat hunting to general security operations as well. And you'll get experience and training better than if you were hired as a corporate junior SOC analyst. Every week, we also have a cybersecurity threat hunt and capture the flag challenge where you can compete for cash prizes while building legit resume experience at the same time. And this isn't a simulation, it's like real infrastructure with real users, real attacks, and organic logs that you'll have hands-on access to. So if you're interested, check out the link in the description and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.